come to order, and clerk call the roll.
Mr. Green?
Here.
Mr. Lido?
Here.
Admiral Natter?
Here.
Mr. Reeves?
Here.
Mr. Skelton? Mr. Smith?
Here.
Mr. Ryder?
Here. We can stand for the invocation, and then Boy Scout Troop 21, please.
Let us pray. Lord, thank you for the gift of another day. Life is so busy at times that we forget to slow down and enjoy the blessings of the day. Help us to take time each day to reflect on the precious gift of life. This week, we remember all of our men and women who have served and are serving to protect our freedom. We pray for those who are away from their families, that they will soon return home safe and well. Hear the prayers and the hearts of all of us here tonight, and give us wisdom to accept your will. In your name we pray. Amen.
Amen. Boy Scouts will take over.
Please join me in the Pledge of Allegiance. Pledge allegiance
to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Thank you. Thank you very much. We're fortunate tonight to have Mr. Jimmy Stevens, Chairman of the Jefferson County Commission, with us, and we had a soft opening this morning. I'll let Mr. Stevens.
I'm right here,
Oh,
Jim.
there you are. You just here.
Good evening, everyone. I would like to take this time to thank Mayor, Council, for the cooperation that you've given us and the assistance that you've given us in establishing a satellite courthouse here within the municipal city limits of Hoover. So far, it's been a resounding success. From its beginnings over at the Met, we got our sea legs. We got with Admiral. we established our sea legs, and we figured out where we were going with it. Well, we sat down with the council and with the mayor, and we worked out an agreement that we think will be long term. That we're establishing a new satellite courthouse here on Highway 31 in Hoover. We're going to have a grand opening this Thursday at 11:30. We'd like to invite everyone to be there. This is not just a Jefferson County opening. This is an opening for the city of Hoover through our cooperative agreements. You have what we call skin in the game. It wouldn't be there if it weren't for you and the leadership that you've exhibited. We thank you very much. Through what we have at the County Commission, we call it communications, cooperation, and coordination. It's called the C attitudes. We've exhibited that, and we want to thank you, every one of you, for what you've done for the citizens of Jefferson County. We look for a very long and very mutually beneficial relationship. Now, what we have is that we're just established. We're about to have all of our revenue functions there. Soon we will have the tax assessor, tax collector, and driver's license. We're waiting on the state. The state's dragging their feet on it right now. It's not our fault for a change. So we're working hard, and what I wanted to say is thank you. Thank you so very much for what you've done for the citizens of Jefferson County and the citizens of the city of Hoover. Look forward to continuing in the future. Thank you very much.
Thank you. The new courthouse is located where Employers Insurance Company was, right there in the Green Valley Drug Plaza. That's where the city was really basically incorporated.
You ever worked there, Jack?
Yes, sir, I did. Mr. President, I'm a sophomore in college, Joe.
Mr. President.
Wait a second, I'm not the room.
Oh.
It's also
$20
where
hoping you were.
it's also where the first policeman, Oscar Davis, was sworn in, and the first fireman, Wally Beek, that spent the night at the fire station. So it has significance in Hoover's history. Go ahead, Mr. Smith.
Well, I'd just like to thank Mr. President Stevens. We did our part, but if it wasn't for he, I know he had some bumps along the way that he had to work through, and I appreciate him holding his ground and working with his colleagues, because if it hadn't come
very convenient for us citizens of the city of Hoover. Thank you for locating where you did. Thank you.
Mayor Ivy, I think you have a report.
Yeah, I'll echo that. Commissioner and I have got a 45-year relationship, and I think we have done with the county commission what everybody talks about doing about regional cooperation. And we've done it now, and it works, and it's good. We've done some road projects with them. It continues to get better. I wanted to brag on our staff and our city. On last Thursday night, we had our Hoover Hayride. We had in excess of 10,000, several of the councilmen were there. Kids came through. It was a wonderful event. Our employees just did a wonderful job handling a crowd that big to start with, but everybody had fun, and it's a real pleasure to see that kind of community spirit in a city that's got to be pretty big. But we still, with that type of activity, feel like a little town. So it was wonderful.
Thank you, Mayor. Chief Dursis, you want to come down and talk to us?
Yes, sir.
Mayor, Council, wanted to make you aware that effective yesterday, November 1st, is No Shave November for many of our police officers. So you'll see, including Aldecca back here, starting to grow a beard. And we're doing this to raise money and awareness for the Wings of Hope Pediatric Foundation. So far, Alabaster Police, Pelham, Montevallo, Helena, Shelby County Sheriff's Department, and Hoover will be engaged in this. The Wings of Hope Foundation aids families with terminally ill children. All the proceeds go, 100% of the proceeds go to this foundation. And to be honest with you, Aldecca and I met with the foundation, and when they were coming in, I told Al, I said, there's no way that we're going to grow beards for the month of November. And then after I sat down and talked to a young lady who lost 2 kids in infancy, I said, we're in. It's a great foundation. Mayor, council, anybody that is interested in donating anything to the foundation can go through the Hoover Police Department, make the checks out to the Wings of Hope. And as I told the young lady that day, we're in, and I hope that we're going to raise more money than any of the other police departments if we're going to be involved in it. So again, a little strange seeing our guys with beards, but they're very excited. And for the ladies asked what they could do, and I don't want any comments what they could do, but it came down to we're allowing the female officers and our employees, females are not allowed to do anything with their nails but clear fingernail polish. So they're allowed to wear any colored fingernail polish the month of November as long as they donate to the cause. So again, a little bit different for the month. We're excited about it. We've got right now almost 90 employees involved, so that's good. Thank you very much.
Chief, thank you. We have 3 proclamations, Mayor. Ari, you want to help me?
Councilman, I thought you wanted to come down with the first one, didn't you?
The epilepsy awareness, when we have Jamie Akita and Finley Darwin join the mayor and Councilman Wyatt. Counselor, if you would.
Yes. Proclamation for Epilepsy Awareness Month. Whereas epilepsy is a neurological disorder producing brief disturbances in the normal electrical functions of the brain that temporarily affects a person's consciousness, bodily movements, and/or sensations, while creating long-term effects on the lifestyle of individuals with epilepsy. And whereas 1 in 26 people will develop epilepsy, and 1 in 10 people will have a seizure in their lifetime. And whereas epilepsy can affect anyone, no matter what their gender, race, age, religion, educational background, or socioeconomic status. And whereas epilepsy is more common than Parkinson's disease, multiple sclerosis, muscular dystrophy, and cerebral palsy combined. Whereas epilepsy affects more than 65 million people cure for epilepsy. Drug therapy, surgery, and other non-pharmacological treatments exist, allowing approximately 80% of individuals with epilepsy to lead a normal life with either no seizures or a significant reduction in seizures. And whereas epilepsy is a complex disorder that requires further research to find a cure and prevention, and whereas the annual observance of Epilepsy Awareness Month advocates for the rights, humane treatment, and appropriate education of all persons with epilepsy, while raising awareness with families, professionals, and the general public to better understand this lifelong disorder. And now, therefore, I, Gary Ivey, Mayor of the City of Hoover, Alabama, do hereby proclaim November 2015 as Epilepsy Awareness Month in memory of J. Parker Darwin, and encourage all citizens to join me in recognizing the importance of this month. Proclaim the second day of November 2015.
Thank you. We have a second proclamation of Laurie Greer and Sue Clements, who've come down. Chief Durbin, you want to join this group? Mayor? Counselor, if you would.
Yes. Proclamation, whereas in 2015, an estimated 48,960 people will be diagnosed with pancreatic cancer in the United States, and 40,560 will die from the disease. And whereas pancreatic cancer is one of the deadliest cancers, it's currently the fourth leading cause of cancer death in the United States, and is projected to become the second by 2020. And whereas when symptoms of pancreatic cancer present themselves, it is generally late stage, and 73% of pancreatic cancer patients die within the first year of their diagnosis, while 93% of pancreatic cancer patients die within the first 5 years. And whereas it is estimated that 660 deaths will occur in Alabama in 2015, and whereas pancreatic cancer is the 7th most common cause of cancer-related death in men and women across the world, and whereas there will be an estimated 367,000 new pancreatic cancer cases diagnosed globally in 2015, and whereas the good health and well-being of the residents of Hoover are enhanced as a direct result of increased awareness about pancreatic cancer and research into early detection, causes, and effective treatments. Now therefore, I, Gary Ivey, Mayor of the City of Hoover, do hereby proclaim November 13, 2015 as World Pancreatic Cancer Day in the City of Hoover, and urge our residents to learn more about the treatment and support of people diagnosed with pancreatic cancer. Given under my hand and seal of the City of Hoover this second day of November 2015.
We have a third proclamation of Susan Moore,
whereas Native American Awareness Week began in 1976, and recognition was expanded by Congress and approved by President George Bush in August 1990, designating the month of November as National American Indian Heritage Month. And whereas in honor of National American Indian Heritage Month, community celebrations as well as numerous cultural, artistic, educational, and historical activities have been planned. Now therefore, I, Gary Ivey, Mayor of the City of Hoover, Alabama, do hereby proclaim November as the National American Indian Heritage Recognition Month in the City of Hoover, and urge all of our citizens to observe this month with appropriate programs, ceremonies, and activities. In witness whereof, I hereunto set my hand and cause the seal of the City of Hoover to be affixed to this, the second day of November, the year of our Lord, 2015.
Thank you.
You got your own. Whisper, stick. Thank you.
Each of you received a copy of the minutes of October 19th regular meeting, so I take a motion.
Mr. President, I move for approval of minutes without reading.
Second. Motion is second. All in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed, nay. Minutes are approved. Resolution 50. Excuse me, we had one more up there. Admiral, now, we had a library member and Greg Stanley.
He was gonna keep this till last, so all the library board members are in here for the first time.
No, go ahead, Admiral.
Mr. President, I move that that Colleen Neckmeyer be appointed to the library board.
Second.
Motion second. All in favor say aye.
Aye.
That's unanimous. Colleen, you want to stand
Colleen,
up?
please stand up.
Thank you. I wasn't gonna move with the last one.
Yeah, he was too. Trust me.
Would the rest of the library board stand up? You want to introduce your board, Linda?
Okay, to my far left, Sarah Rast is chairman. And to her right, Eloise Martins is currently our treasurer. Al Humphrey, wonderful board member.
Not as good as the one, not as good as the one he replaced, though. He's not as good as the one he replaced. That was me.
How soon we forget.
Certainly not as tall.
And Mr. Mike Crutchett, who is our vice chairman.
Oldest member.
That too. And his wife Joan. Also, this is Patricia Brino. She is assistant director at the library. And these folks have volunteered many, many, many hours of service over the years to the library, the city, and they're very, very conscientious and very loyal and give us great support. So we really appreciate all of you, and we welcome you. Thank you. It's going to be fun. You'll like it. It's hard work, but
We appreciate all the libraries doing for Veterans Week and all they did yesterday, and the opening ceremonies were fantastic as usual. Now we'll try for resolution 53-22-15, council.
Yes, so this resolution rejects the bid of Siemens Healthcare Diagnostics, Inc. relating to bid number 1550 for drug testing laboratory equipment and supplies. Bid notices were mailed to 6 vendors as listed on the City of Hoover vendor list, and the invitation to bid was also posted on the City of Hoover website. Siemens Healthcare Diagnostics bid on laboratory equipment and the drug testing supplies was the only bid received. The resolution authorizes the mayor to negotiate the price for the purchase of the drug testing supplies not to exceed the quoted bid amount, and to execute an agreement with Siemens Healthcare Diagnostics for the services to be performed.
Mr. President, I would move for the approval of the rejections for the items mentioned in order to give the mayor an opportunity to negotiate a better price.
Second. Motion second, any discussion with the council?
Mr. President, Ben, is there any reason why the other 5 vendors did not submit a bid? Did you know of?
Admiral, I do not. We had conversations up until the day before with another prospective bidder. We thought that we were certain to have 2 bidders, but it just didn't turn out to be the case. Because of the impending outcome of this, I have not contacted them, but I will find out. There were multiple representatives of Siemens that were included among the people that we sent bids to, as well as another company. So it was just a very limited pool of resources that we can draw on for this particular equipment and supply.
Thank you very much.
Any further questions from council? Any from the audience? Hearing none, all in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed, nay. Resolution passes. Resolution 53-2315, Mr. Walters.
This resolution accepts public improvements within the road right-of-way of Creekside Phase 2, Part A, and Creekside Phase 2, Part B, and Creekside Phase 2, Part C. This is United States Steel Corporation has requested the city approve its written request for acceptance of improvements within the road right-of-way of Part A, B, and C of Creekside Phase 2. The Building Inspections Department recommends to the City Council such improvements within the road right-of-way be accepted by the City of Hoover as public improvements, and that perpetual maintenance of such improvements also be accepted by the city.
Mr. President, I would move for approval of Resolution 53-23-15.
Motion second, any discussion with the council? Any from the audience? All in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed, nay. Resolution passes. Resolution 53-2415, Mr. Walters.
This resolution rescinds Resolution 525615 that was adopted by the City Council on April the 20th of this year regarding the purchase of the old Berry High School property.
Mr. President, I would move for approval of Resolution 53-24-15 for their rescinded.
Second. Motion second, any discussion with the council? Any from the audience? Hearing none, all in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed, nay. Resolution passes. Resolution 53-2515, Mr. Walters.
This resolution provides for the implementation of the Severe Weather Preparedness and Sales Tax Holiday. It was passed by the Alabama Legislature. Is Act number 2012-256. All covered items as set forth in the Act will be exempted from payment of municipal sales and use tax during the period from 12:01 a.m. on Friday, February 26th of 2016, and ending at 12 midnight on Sunday, February the 28th, 2016.
Mr. President, I would move for approval of Resolution 53-25-15.
Second. Motion second, any discussion from the council?
Mr. President, Mr. Lopez,
Yes.
do you have an idea of how much money this has saved to the citizens in the purchase of these items?
No, we actually do not. It's, the way the sales tax works is a consolidated form that's filed, so we're not able to break it out. So we have no way of knowing. But it's, personal comments, we've had calls of people calling into our offices and all, very thankful. So, we felt it's very multiple, very successful.
You don't even have an educated guess of what
No,
it may
sir, I
be?
did not. I did not.
Thank you.
Additional comments from the council?
Mr. President, the items on this list covered, do we have that on our website?
No, sir, I do not know, but I'll check with the appropriate folks and make sure that we have that information on the website.
Thank you.
Additional comments from the council? Any from the audience? Hearing none, all in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed, nay. Resolution passes. Resolution 53-2615, Mr. Walden.
This resolution authorizes the mayor to execute an agreement with Jefferson County regarding maintenance of the following roadways within the city of Hoover. County Road 2, that's also known as Shades Crest Road. County Road 97, that's also known as
Shades Crest Road, beginning at the intersection of West Oxmoor Road, southerly to Alabama Highway 150. County Road 113, also known as Rocky Ridge Road, and County Road 42, also known as Tyler Road.
Mr. President, I would move for approval resolution 5326-15.
Second. Have a motion second. Any discussion from council?
Mr. President, I don't know who would answer this one. Tim?
Yes, sir.
Are these streets, they are just the portions that are within the city of Hoover, correct?
Just the portions within the city, yes, sir.
Thank you.
Additional comments from council? Any from the audience?
Mr. President.
Yes, sir.
Mr. Stevens, Jefferson County Commission, want to thank you again for your cooperation and the coordination that we have. These are the through roads that go from the county through the city of Hoover. And in 2009, when we were in our financial difficulties, we relinquished the maintenance of those roads, and you did a great job doing it. We're reassuming our responsibility in reestablishing the maintenance of these roads, and we certainly appreciate it. Thank you for your help while we were going through the financial difficulties.
Thank you for coming, Jim. Additional comments in the audience? Hearing none, all in favor say aye. Aye. Opposed, nay. Resolution passes. Second reading ordinance 152285, Mr. Walton.
This ordinance would alter, amend, rearrange, and extend the corporate limits of the city so as to embrace and include all territory now within such corporate limits, and also the property described on Exhibit A attached to the ordinance is approximately 103 acres on Donovan Valley Road, it's Highway 41, adjacent to the Colby Greystone, which is contiguous to the city of Hoover.
Need a motion to adopt?
Mr. President, I would move for the adoption of ordinance 15-2285.
Second. Have a motion second. Any discussion from the council?
Mr. President, with the help of Mr. Yeager, I did some ad valorem analysis and came up with several figures I think are worth noting for the minutes that, and I think it's also worth noting that the annexation committee sought the input of both Chief Wingate, Chief Durzis, and Dr. Murphy from our Board of Education, neither of which had serious concerns over the annexation of this property. It's also worth noting that these homes will bring in an estimated $197,000 a year in revenue to the Hoover City Schools. And if you use the typical ratio that we do to estimate how many students that'll produce, of 32, that'll cost in local dollars only $133,000. So we're going to see a net gain to Hoover City Schools annually here, somewhere between $70,000 and $100,000. If you're a numbers nerd and you want me to go over these with you after the meeting, I'll be glad to, but I won't bore you with any more. Thank you.
Thank you, Mr. Lyde. Any additional comments from council? Any from the audience? Mr. Fulton.
I'm Dan Fulton. I live at 1440 Alford Avenue and been a resident in Bluff Park since 1956. A lot of the citizens are very concerned about the annexations into Hoover. Personally, I'm not against it as long as the infrastructure is there to support the additional development. Mr. Lyda, with all due respect, I do question your numbers. And if we are going to add additional homes, and I gather in time there will be other developments, additional homes, and within the city of Hoover, additional apartments, which have already been zoned so that there can be apartments, probably will be coming, that I would call on the city of Hoover to adequately support the infrastructure, and especially the Hoover City Schools. The city Hoover Schools have been flat funded by the city of Hoover since 2008, or 2009. 2009, every year, $2 million. And according to the last financial report of the city of Hoover, 1.61%, 1.61% of the total expenses of this city, the sixth largest city in the state, went to the Hoover schools. Now, I consider that unacceptable. I think you can do more. I really do think you can do more. Now, as you know, in the past, I suggested raising the sales tax 1 penny. This would bring in over $20 million a year, and devote that to the Hoover City schools. And that will help. We don't have to worry about development. Build the homes. Help out Sanford. Build the apartments, but then provide the financial support that the schools need to provide the adequate instruction, the instruction and for additional construction. The city of Hoover may need a new third high school. That would run about $60 million. As they go through rezoning, they may need 1 or 2 more elementary schools so the students do not have to be bused long distances on busy, congested streets, and they can go to a school in their neighborhood. So I'm calling the city to do that. They've done it in Trustville very successfully. They've done that in Gardendale very successfully. And as a former government teacher, I agree. The best tax is no tax. But in this particular case, the benefits will far, far outweigh the additional penny cost. Most people don't even realize it's 9% in Hoover and 10% when you go to the summit. And by the way, the summit is in Birmingham, not Hoover. Some people don't even realize that. When you shop at Summit, at Bromberg's, or at the Apple store in the Summit, you're paying a 10% sales tax. The city of Birmingham is collecting that. Now, they may not be using it quite as wisely as we hope they would, but they are collecting it. And I call on Hoover to collect that extra penny, use it for the schools primarily, but also go for additional streets, additional upgraded streets. We have a lot of derated streets in Hoover, and for additional sidewalks and for additional parks. I think it would be a very wise investment, and I'm calling you to reconsider that, doing that very soon so that we do have the infrastructure and the school structure that we need for this additional development. In this case, and then the other development to come, because more development is on the way. Thank you so much.
Thank you, Mr. Fulton. Additional comments from council? Yes, Mr. Schultz.
My name is Robin Schultz. I live on Albemarle Drive. I too would like to question Mr. Lyda's figures. I went on the Shelby County website last night, looked at their millage rates based on an average home value of $600,000. The amount of money that the school would receive per student is $1,320 per student. At the anticipated number of students of 32, which I don't know where that figure comes from, but if we're figuring 1 student per home, that's going to give a deficit of $5,848 per student to the per year to Hoover City Schools. Bring that to 40 students, that's going to be $40,000 deficit per year. 50 students, we're at $81,000 deficit per year. Can you tell me where I'm wrong in the numbers?
I'll be glad to talk to you afterward, but the ratio number we use, Mr. Schultz, is 1 student per every 2.5 homes, not 1 to 1. And I'll be glad to get with you and Mr. Fulton both and share the numbers that Mr. Yeager and I came up with.
I'd be happy to see that. Okay. One other concern would be the fire station there. Although the distance to the existing fire station is not that far, it's a rough drive for a fire truck to go up that Double Oak Mountain to that area. And building another fire station there would probably cost another $2.3 million as well if we did the same thing as we did in the other part of Greystone. Thank you.
Thank you, Mr. Schultz. Additional comments from the audience? Hearing none, all in favor say aye.
Aye.
Mr. Roll call.
Mr. Green?
Aye.
Mr. Lyda?
Aye.
Animal Matter?
Aye.
Mr. Reed?
Aye.
Mr. Smith?
Aye.
Mr. Wright?
Aye. First reading ordinance 152287, Mr. Walden.
This ordinance would alter, amend, rearrange, and extend the corporate limits of the city of Hoover so so as to embrace and include all territory now within such corporate limits, and also the commercial property described as portion 7, Hoover Drive, Phase 3, off of Hoover Valley Road, that is contiguous to the city.
Mr. President, I would move to suspend the rules in order to bring immediate consideration to ordinance 15-2287.
Second. Clerk, call the roll.
Mr. Green?
Aye.
Mr. Lyda?
Aye.
Allen Matter?
Aye.
Mr. Reeves?
Aye.
Mr. Smith? Mr. Wright?
Aye.
Well, Mr. President, I would like to move for the adoption of ordinance 15-2287.
All right, second.
Motion second. Clerk, call the roll.
Mr. Green? Mr. Lyda?
Aye.
Allen Matter?
Aye.
Mr. Reeves?
Aye.
Mr. Smith?
Aye.
Mr. Wright?
Aye. Ordinance passes. And the first reading of ordinance 15-2288, Mr. Walker.
This ordinance grants a non-exclusive telecommunications franchise to Southern Light LLC for a period of 5 years unless lawfully revoked or terminated as provided in the franchise agreement between the city and Southern Light.
Mr. President, I would, this first reading.
First reading, we have a second reading November 16th. Set a public hearing for Monday, November 16th at 6 p.m. Consider the request of Jim Saris, Big Slice LLC, for conditional use approval, allow the sale of retail beer, retail table wine, and Pazzo Big Slice Pizza, 1678 Montgomery Highway, Suite 101A. Property is owned by Hoover Inc. in Zone C2 Community Business. Payment of bills, Mr. Smith.
Mr. President, I review the bill and recommend they be paid in full as presented.
Second. A motion is second. Any discussion from the council? Any from the audience? Hearing none, all in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed, nay. Please pay the bills, Mr. Yeager. Comments or questions from the council? Additional comments from the audience?
Mr. President, one thing, sorry, I can loop over. Just encourage all the citizens to attend the flag lowering ceremonies each day this week in front of the library. And I think it's at 4:45. Very impressive, and individuals who are selected by the Veterans Committee receive a flag which has been flown over the Capitol in Montgomery.
I want to thank the Boy Scouts of Troop 21 for coming with us tonight.
So you've got a total of $3,950 in total property tax that's going to be due. Millage rates that.
But the millage rates on schools in Shelby County is 20. No, he said the total millage. Okay, so it's 56.5. Okay.
Well, let's keep going and we'll get to the Hoover portion of that, okay?
$39.90 is what you came up with, correct?
$39.50 total property tax.
That's what you think.
That's just property tax. City of Hoover gets $386 of that per $100,000 home. All right. Hoover City Schools will receive a direct property tax portion of $1,782 per home.
Okay, and so explain this to me. I'm coming up with 22 for the school. Is that incorrect then, as far as the millage rate? Because I'm coming up with 22 for the school based on the Hoover City Schools. Am I incorrect in what I read? That was off the Shelby County website. That would bring it to 1,320 instead of 17.
There are 30 mills of direct property tax for the schools, and then they share, and I'm guessing that the percentage, probably 10% in the 16 mill countywide tax. So if you average that out, that's 31.6 mills.
So that's 9 mills more.
I'll be happy to just email y'all all a spreadsheet.
Well, that's what we really need, and if you could post that on the website, it'd be ideal.
I'm not calculating meals.
That's what we need.
I'm calculating dollars.
I understand.
It's
I'm
easy.
going by trying to figure the mills times $2.
But when you take the direct Hoover City Schools portion of $1,782 and the Hoover portion of the Shelby County tax, of $250, you come up with $2,032 per student, okay? Now, let's say that
So
it does produce
multiply that by
32,
97
yeah,
and
homes.
divide it by 24.
Right, and so that's fine at 32 students. It's once you expand the number of students that it goes south from
But
there.
We've never seen that happen. It could happen.
It could happen, yeah.
It could happen.
Well, listen,
Not on a
it's not
$600,000
gonna happen.
house.
Oh, well, yeah.
The average home,
It could
single-family
happen,
home,
too.
produces one student per 2 point.
It doesn't even happen in the apartments.
It does.
Ask the school how many students they have from apartments, and we've got over 10,000 front door apartments. So I'm telling you, the number makes sense. This is nuts.
But I don't agree with you. I don't think it makes sense either. And I want to see the spreadsheets. Yes, sir.
So Dan,
When can I come see them tomorrow?
Sure.
if you take the $2,032 per home,
What time? 2 o'clock?
No.
At 32,
Tomorrow
obviously, it
afternoon,
makes
I'm at the
sense.
doctor.
Okay, it's-
Well, I just came for
at
chemo.
32
What
it
problem
makes
is that?
It's the thing that concerns me.
I'll be in the doctor's
should it
office.
go,
Well, when will you be
that's
in
what
your office?
It depends on when they get through with it.
So we're taking our.
Hey, wait a minute. I'll go get the dang thing now.
Go get it now. Absolutely.
I don't owe you anything, sir.
I don't. You work for me, sir.
I work for me too.
I just work for me.
we can
I
only
think I'm
base
a
it.
taxpayer. I think he works for me.
We can only base it on the metrics that we know and the
If he
experience
works
that
for
we
the city
have.
of Hoover, he works for me.
So the experience that we have says that it's going to produce, on average, 32 students. But again, that's using a ratio that's based on homes that are valued much less than $600,000. And we know, based on those metrics, that the higher priced home, the less student it produces.
And John, you could be 100% right. I have no problem with those numbers.
But there are some variables in there that could happen.
You throw the thing that bothers me is when the number rises, it hurts it big time. And so I'm not too worried about the number rising. I'm worried about what is the city going to do for the school system should that number rise, because the concern that I have is we're bringing more homes in, but we're not adding to what the city is giving the school system. And your position on it right now is we don't have to add anything because they're getting more than they need.
It's a net revenue.
Right. Okay. The thing that concerns me is like at Ross Bridge. We didn't think of a fire station at Ross Bridge, yet we ended up needing a $2.3 million fire station. Okay, where's that money coming from? It's got to come from somewhere. You've driven from Greystone to Shoal Creek, I'm sure.
Sure. 3 miles.
You know that in a car, it's not that bad. You strap on a fire engine and it becomes interesting going up Double Oak Mountain.
And that's why they got first right of refusal, our police chief and fire chief and Dr. Murphy. So they had the first opportunity to say no.
Nobody would have said no to this.
Well, let me question your assumption. Just because they didn't
have said
say,
no to other
excuse me, just because they didn't say anything doesn't mean they don't have doubts and questions.
Well, I'll tell you, there's been other projects where they've said no.
With that still,
With the particular development.
Well, the fire department's had some concerns over, John was there when there was this one, certain driveways or roads that weren't wide enough for a fire truck, didn't have ample fire hydrants. Response time was too long. So that's your fire truck concerns. They had none on this one.
Yeah, I mean, these are things that you look at, and I hope you're right, John. I really genuinely hope you're right, and then it's a moot point. We gain money out of it. It's if we're wrong that we're kind of gambling there, a fire station, $2.3 million, based on the millage rate, which in this particular case it would be correct, $177,000 a year that each home would or that it's going to add to the city, take 12.9 years to
$395,000.
$395 total.
No, I'm sorry.
I'm coming up with 177. Just the city, what the city's going to get.
177 and just property tax?
Yeah, no, just to go to the city, not counting the school.
It's much less.
Okay, what are you coming up?
38,600.
So a fire station is going to take a long time return on investment there.
Yeah, we're not going to need a fire station.
Okay.
So we trust our experts. Here's another note I didn't mention tonight, but just the materials on the construction of the home is going to bring $660,000 into the city.
Sales tax?
Sales tax.
Okay. If they buy it in Hoover?
Well, it's taxed at the point of delivery.
Okay.
So we know that'll be included.
Okay.
660,000.
660. Yeah, it's about $6,600 per home, and there's roughly 100 homes, so it's about $660,000. Just in sales tax. Now, it'll take 3 years to get that because it'll take 3 to 5 years to complete the construction.
While we're on this, okay, looking at item number, where was it? Resolution, item number 7, which is the improvements. Is this the apartments that they were talking about a couple weeks ago on Creekside?
No, that
I mean, you shot that down. You shot the improvement road down for the apartments.
That case, if it were to pass planning and zoning, it wouldn't even come to council. This is a different road.
That's a done deal. The apartments are a done deal.
What do you mean?
The apartments behind Publix. That's already been zoned for apartments. That's the road that the Planning and Zoning Committee said on a technicality was not approved a couple of weeks ago.
Right, but if you mean done deal, it's not coming back. That's not accurate. They can come back.
Yes, they can come back. Yeah. But I mean, those apartments are done deal.
That's what I was saying. Those apartments eventually are coming.
Those 900 apartments are a done deal. You don't have a choice in those. Right.
They're going to come. They will develop. The city is growing. It's developing. And that was my point. This council is not providing the infrastructure support to generally and to the schools that it needs to. It needs to implement that penny and pump some money into this infrastructure, fix the roads, especially those for the schools, you know, like
I admire your passion on that subject. There's 85,000 residents in the city. You know how many are for a sales tax increase?
I think no, you're wrong. You are absolutely, everybody I've talked to has said yes, they would be willing to do that.
Okay. I've not heard from any.
My next door neighbor went to Deer Valley recently, talked to some of their parents about their zoning problem, and they said, oh yeah, that would be no problem if we knew we didn't have to.
It has to be at some point in time. We have to look to see with the growth of the city that we're experiencing. You know, the people they're in Bluff Park United. They're already, you know, bucking up for the rezoning meetings. The ribbons went out all out today. They won the last war, or the last battle, I should say. But the war is not over with yet, and we have to somehow or other prepare for a distribution of the students.
You see, my position is this would relieve a lot of this problem, a lot of the grief and hardship that's going to go on with rezoning with new construction. And the courts are leaning on the superintendent, and there's going to be a lot of grief. A lot of them going to be upset. You've got to get, like these Deer Valley people, they may need a new elementary school.
We're elected to represent the citizens.
And I don't think you are.
Okay, no, I think
you have this blind idea of some ultra conservative.
I'm not representing your opinion because I think you're alone in that.
Sir, I'm not alone.
John,
where have you been, Mr. Lina?
I have a question.
You've been going to the Mark meetings too much.
I guess when?
You've been listening to the two-party too much. Who's bought you out, Mr. Lina?
I figured out why you wanted this eighth thing.
Same people that bought out Mr. Wright?
It's not, we just don't live in a very tax.
Well, get in touch. You're not in touch with the people, Mr. Lina. You've gotten up there now with the Mark folks, and you've forgotten the regular folks in Hoover. You know, I've been here since '56. You haven't.
I have not.
So get in touch.
I haven't been on Earth.
You go. I'll see you at the zoning meeting tomorrow. You gonna be there?
At Green Valley?
Yes.
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir. I'll be there in the first row, and I'll record it. I want to hear what you have to say, because I'm going to ask this question: if these people would be willing to pay another penny if they could have another elementary school.
I'd like to hear from these folks.
And I want to hear your answer. Are you ready?
Well, here's the answer. I am more than willing to let the people vote on it.
They don't have to vote. 4 votes on the council.
Why not let them vote?
It costs money to run a referendum.
I think you know why you don't want to vote.
No.
There's
a lot of people
not going to vote a tax increase.
You're going to put the city through a referendum and pay for that? What does a referendum cost, 200,000?
I don't know.
Thank you, sir.
Got a new one for you. We had to estimate how much.
And what was the word you used there?
Estimate.
Thank you.
Just give him the paper.
You have to estimate which.
Estimate with assumptions.
Which part?
I don't know.
Go ahead.
I got nothing else to say
If
for
y'all
you,
have any more
sir.
questions, just give me a call.
Okay, thank you.
I appreciate it.
Have a nice evening. You can post that one in the article.
Checking on him because it's really giving him some, staying in the battle. 3 weeks into it, he's still, he has his hazard.
These others are direct. Okay? The tax is based on where you live.
Okay.
Okay? School district tax.
Right.
And that's what the 24 and the 6 are.
And really, this is the number we're most concerned about because that's the average value of the home in that particular subdivision.
Yes.
So
I mean,
this is the
that's
number.
why
Yeah.
I ratcheted it back. It goes all the way down to 100.
Gotcha.
So you can see the impact if it's a lower price house.
Gotcha.
All of these homes will be 600,000 plus.
That's what the builder told us.
Their average price, according to John's article, is average price is 600.
Average price.
Average price.
Well, they're not going to be all 600,000?
There's some going to be 900,000.
What difference does it make? If one's 590 and one's 610, they average 600.
That's John's article said that there's 97 homes, and
Okay.
the average price, they're going to range in price from 3 to 9, with the average price being 6.
Do we know how many will, well, that's,
97.
again, that's just an estimate. We don't know actually what the builder will do we?
No, I think that there was a blueprint, or there was a plan of the outline of all the homes, so there was 97 homes.
But I mean, is the amount price fixed? I mean, it's a market price.
It's a market. That's an
But
estimate.
that, yeah.
So it's only an estimate.
Yeah.
It's a protection.
If you can't sell the house, the price will have to decline, of course, because it's how they can sell it.
Okay, I'm going.
No, that's it. That's it. That is, but, oops.